Edward here from the Crypto Viewing Group. Quick plug here for the crew and the group here. I'll have a link below. We do all kinds of work. We are on top of the ever-changing, ever-unfolding tapestry here. Our work is very timely. It's very important. Check us out. That's my plug for the crew. The meaning for this video, I have so many things that I want to hopefully address, and hopefully I can keep it together long enough to address a few of them. But I want to address a few things regarding the corona, the COVID-19. I want to address a few things regarding QAnon, and address a few things regarding time. Now, what I mean by time, this came up recently when I did a video with crypto viewing where I talked about the timeline and knowing where I am in time. Now, I want to explain what I mean by that, because what I mean is that when events are perceived along the timeline, that is how I tell where I am in time. Dates, months mean nothing. They mean nothing. I experience time as a series of events on the timeline. That's how I know where I am in time. Not by it's March 15th and 2020. That has very little to no meaning. It is the events. It is the events that let me know where I am in time. And so this situation that we're dealing with now regarding this virus lets me know where I am in time because of the event. With the coronavirus one, I know where I am in time because I remote viewed it in 2017. So 3 years ago, there was an event on the horizon that I was able to perceive, and it took almost 3 years for it to happen. But now that it's happened, I know where I am in time. And so I'm doing some additional work on the timeline as well. And I'll show a little bit of that. But I wanted to reiterate something here that is very, very important. This is some work from the crypto. I'm going to show some of my work again from the crypto viewing group. This was a tasking that was given to us last year, in September or October of last year. This date here, this screenshot is just when I took the screenshot for a previous video. This is not when the sessions were done. That's just the screenshot because I didn't want to open up the Word document. This is from September, October. I think the sessions may have been done in September of last year. This was the reference ID that I used, 05 Papa 1. And the question centered around cryptocurrency or digital currency adoption in North America / future. We're looking, so it was designed for us to go into the future. This is the element of the questioning here that made the most impact on me once I got the feedback. We did a debrief on this, and feedback was given to us, me, Dick Allgaier, and Daz Smith. What conditions are surrounding this transition? I went over this before in a video, but I want to go over it again because it's so important. What conditions are surrounding the transition to a digital currency system in North America? In that session, along with some other things, because I was drawing the Great Wall of China as well, which was very interesting. This is what I was perceiving. This is what I was seeing, and this is what I was perceiving here. These things here that I was trying to describe and interpret, which looks eerily similar, almost exactly to the coronavirus. This is before this thing came out. This was months before this came out, before the corona thing happened. And in the debrief, we're looking at them, and I'm going to say, sorry guys, I think I bombed on this one. I don't know what the hell, what any of this means per the questioning. I have no idea. We know now. Now we know what this meant. And so, again, this is an event along the timeline. This, again, lets me know where I am in time. This is in the future still. But as far as how we get there, circumstances around it, this lets me know where I am in time, right here. Because I drew the coronavirus. Before it got released, before it became a part of the narrative. Several months before it became part of the narrative. So it lets me know where I am in time. And it's knowing where I am in time, being able to experience, to perceive these events that are on the future horizon, describe them, experience them, and document them. And then once real time actualizes, that having that sense of where I am in time is very comforting to me. The circumstances are uneasy. The circumstances are not easy at all. But it's comforting for me to know where I am in time. Okay. Oh yeah, there was that. Yeah, just a little image there. Even though this is a digital image, somebody brought that up. But it's a relatively close description of what the actual virus looks like under microscope. Okay. Now, I wanted to do a little talk about QAnon. I got a couple examples of my sessions from QAnon. These were from May, June, July of 2018 that I did the QAnon project. Completely blind, just like with the other one, with the crypto viewing, where I was drawing the coronavirus. Where the tasking was what are the circumstances surrounding a conversion to a digital currency. We were completely blind to all of it. We were completely blind, and probably double blind on that one. This is from the QAnon session. I'm completely blind to what it is. I have no idea that the tasking is QAnon and elements, and there's more to it. It's not just what is QAnon. There were a whole list of subtaskings as well that Dustin created as well. But some of these I want to quickly go over because I think it's very relevant now, especially now. Some of these are the anomalies. I want to go over some of the anomalies here. Where in this one, I was perceiving in a previous session a satellite, something going on with a satellite. I wanted to go into that further, and it was something that was a sweeping broadcast of some type of communication broadcast going around. These kinds of frequencies were coming around, affecting people. Felt like a harmful radiation. Some people are suggesting online that the coronavirus is interacting with 5G. I don't know if there's proof on that. That could be a conspiracy theory. That could be real. I don't know. All I can say is that from my sessions, I base how I feel about these things, how I perceive these things, based on my remote viewing sessions and any additional research that I want to do. I'm not making any claims. I'm not making any claims here. I'm not making any absolutes. I'm making observations only, and these are my opinions from all of my remote viewing. Do they affect how I perceive things? Absolutely they do, because in my opinion, what I'm describing in actual remote viewing is what the other part of my consciousness that knows what's going on is providing this information for me to document during a remote viewing session. And so, okay, so let me get back to this, because there's something that is interesting here that I want to talk about, because I want to talk briefly about how I feel about QAnon. This was during that session. I'm going through the satellite stuff, and I come upon this notion here. Move to the AI and describe. I did this in a previous. I'm just going to do this again because there's just an idea that I need to get across. I'm in a facility. It's very clean. It's very smooth. Experiments are going on. Communication and problem solving. This is the idea here. It can be your best friend, which is an AI. Man and AI reach out to each other, partnering to solve problems and get beyond problems. It's like, what is there beyond problem solving? And this is where I was saying infinity and writing ifinity. The idea here was what is our experience, what does our existence look like if we're living with an AI system that is scanning all things, finding miscalculations in everything that it scans and offering the solution to that. What would our reality look like if we had a system that was doing that? I didn't even recognize that I was writing, that I had written ifinity until I was doing the video for the sessions. I did not know this. I later learned out that ifinity is an actual company, and they deal in creating smart cities, building, developing the technologies for smart cities, which was fascinating to me, absolutely fascinating to me, for what I was perceiving here. People, what the technocracy is implementing and creating. Here's another session. This is session number 6 of the QAnon sessions. Okay. What am I perceiving here? A series of high-tech experiments on people. How will this be introduced to the masses is the question I asked. Adoption. How is that going to happen? This tech is on the other side of a world event. The world is not ready for this event horizon. It wasn't ready. This is summer, early summer of 2018 when I did this. The world was not ready for this event horizon. I got like a new dawn, a new age, and I got some things I want to say about that. Change of what humans are. It was terrifying and it was beautiful at the same time. Move to the world event and describe, and these ideas of a new dawn, a new day, massive world shift, changing event. It's like a massive broadcast entering human minds. This is why I'm making this video, and I'll get to my point here. This feels like it happens very quickly in the future, sometime away in the 2020s. And this right here, this stage 7, this phrase came into my mind, mind peak. Mind peak. I didn't know what that was. I just looked this up today. I just looked at this today and looked this up today. Ideas here like a new phase for humans. Mind peak. Mind Peak, as it turns out, is a company that uses AI in pathology. Our mission is to increase cancer diagnostic accuracy and make it accessible to everyone in need. MindPeak is an AI company. It's like a new phase of humans problem solving. I'm not saying MindPeak is bad. I'm not saying iFinity is bad or anything like that. The point that I want to make here is that this is in my opinion, oh, this is the other thing too. I looked up MindPeak, the company, here on LinkedIn. The company was founded in 2018. My sessions were done in late spring, early summer of 2018, as this company was opening. MindPeak. I just found that out just now when I researched this. Just found this out now. So what is this? What am I trying to say here? These again are from remote viewing QAnon. So what does QAnon have to do with any of this? In my opinion, the connection between the two is that these companies represent the coming shift into technocracy as we move from democracies, as we move from human-based governance into technology-based governance. It's the shift of the age, in my opinion. This is like shifting from a Piscean era into the Aquarian era. And the Aquarian era is technology. It is technology-based, where technology becomes the new God. And that's what I was perceiving in the QAnon sessions here. That this new dawn was coming. It's coming. And what does that mean? And what does that have to do with QAnon? QAnon, in my opinion, is a fraction or a faction of the technocracy. And it is designed to affect people's minds. This is my opinion. And I know this is going to make a lot of people upset because a lot of people see QAnon and believe that QAnon is a solution to take out the deep state, to clean the swamp, to take out these bad guys who have been running things. And I don't completely disagree with that. The only thing that I do disagree with in that scenario is that if those bad guys are taken out, that the replacement is the good guys. And that's where I disagree with that theory. Because in my perception, based on what I've experienced in these sessions, is that once the bad guys are taken out, they will be replaced, but they will be replaced with the technocracy, not the good guys. They will be replaced with the technocracy. And so when I look at QAnon, I have been doing some work myself on the event horizon. This is some stuff that hasn't been released yet, but these are some of the ideas regarding the event horizon, regarding the technocracy, and possibly how the QAnon movement, or the creation of the QAnon movement, was formulated with a specific idea in mind, formulated for a specific idea. I'm going to quickly go through some of this stuff. And some of these, this is kind of continuation of the QAnon sessions here, where I'm getting into some ideas here of this electromagnetic field, where I'm feeling that the Earth's a change in the Earth's axis. Time is off. Time is altered. And the idea is of a non-polarity. And so I'm asking, is this natural, is this artificial? What would a non-polarity be like? I ask, and the answer would be a singularity. A singularity. A singularity. A non-binary. And the elements of this are at play as it affects humans, where these things like non-binary have entered into the equation. We're seeing people beginning to react now out of a binary system and into a singularity system. The singularity is in process now. And so I ask, is this the technocracy? Is it an electronic consciousness? Is technology the electric consciousness? An electric awareness that is engulfing the world? I'm asking, is this the shift of the age? The god of Aquarius is electric. The technocracy. The technocracy. So I ask, how is this affecting people? And it reminds me of a thought pulse, like a sentinel, like a sentinel electric pulse that hits the synapses of the electric brain, because our brains are electric. Our synapses are firing electricity. So if you send a specific pulse into the synapse, that's where things change. This can take over people's thoughts. This reminds me of Q and the infiltration of the human mind, like Borg. This was a drawing here of an electrical field, and this is this is my rendering of the synapses of the human brain, where if these pulses get in, they can affect the electrical signals in the synapses of the human brain and begin to rewire them, take over, or here, repattern them. And this is again where I come into these ideas of QAnon in the realm that what I experience in these sessions is that impulse, and that if that impulse is allowed to come in and repattern the brain, then certain ideas are then being imprinted in that brain. That brain is basically being repatterned. Repatterned for what? And again, these are my opinions, these are my perceptions, and I'm not making any claims that any of it's true or absolute. These are my opinions, and they are based on my perceptions. When you have things like Mind Peak, you have things like Affinity that are using these technologies, and we are in the beginning phase of where the technology is going, how the technocracy takes over. And I look at this and I listen to what is being said with like the QAnon. Again, I'm kind of on this QAnon thing, where they have phrases like we come one, we come all. What the hell is it? Where one goes, we all go, or whatever it is. People know. Oh God, I can't remember it. But it's a phrase that sounds very patriotic. Where we come one, we come all. I think it is. It sounds very patriotic. but it also sounds a little Borg-like to me. It sounds a little communist to me, or communal. It sounds Borgish, like the Borg to me when I hear phrases like that. Some people have left comments regarding my QAnon sessions, some of which I couldn't post. I had to delete them because they're a little negative. But I read those, and when I analyze what I'm reading, it feels like this, like something maybe, well, they're definitely being influenced, but in my perception, the level of influence goes into the synapse of the brain. That's my feeling, and that's my feeling. That's my perception of QAnon. And people are not happy about that. I know they're not. People are very upset about it. But there's nothing I can do. I have to tell you what I perceive, and my perception is QAnon is a faction of the technocracy, and it does want to take down the quote-unquote deep state and all those guys, and replace them with the technocracy. Because we are moving into the new age. We're moving in. The event horizon is in front of us. It is in front of us. And I will continue to talk about it because that's why I'm here. I'm here to perceive it, document it, and talk about it. Present it. And I'll keep doing my job. So anyway, that's it for now. Kind of a heavy video. Again, I'm not making any claims. I'm not saying any of this is true. I am only giving you my opinion and my perception. That's it, from my individual brain. Oh, I think I went into that here too. Is there a way to maintain one's own thoughts? And there is. I'll talk about that later. Because this element here wants to control the brain. It wants to control the brain and create Borg-like conditions. I particularly don't like that. I don't particularly like that. But what I like or dislike is really not important on the timeline. So that's it for this video. Many more to come.